in front of me and try to minimize 4 DWI, felony DWI convictions, you are
Davis.
Mr. Davis. 24 CR 71, you were charged here. You're David Shea Davis, right?
Yes, sir.
All right. You were here with Mr. Grove as your attorney. You're charged in this indictment with the state jail felony of tampering with electronic device, it states. Hello. Whoa, boy, you got 1, 2, 3, 4 prior convictions.
Yes, sir. The DWI convictions.
I think that's correct, Judge. I believe all 4 was prior, so.
See what the dates are. Yeah, but they're on subsequent dates. Yeah,
I've been cleaned off of alcohol and drugs for 2 years now.
nonetheless, there's an old saying, you probably have heard it, the past is never really in the past.
I understand.
And when it comes to law and prior convictions, they come up and rise up.
Right.
And they're not forgotten about. So
No, this incident right here had nothing to do with drugs and alcohol.
nonetheless, what the law states, if you are found guilty of a state jail felony as alleged here, then those prior convictions, which are in sequence, you are looking at no less than 2 nor more than 20 years confinement in prison. It's as though it's a second-degree felony. It's as though you're punished as though it were. It's a state jail felony, but you're punished as though it were a second-degree felony because of the prior conviction. So that's pretty serious.
Yeah, that is pretty
So,
serious.
what are we going to do in this?
Mr. Davis has indicated he doesn't want to accept the plea bargain offer that's being made by the state. And I think, would like to set his case for trial.
Is that right?
Yeah, I went to fire my attorney and get my own attorney.
Are you able to hire a lawyer?
Absolutely.
Well, why has the county been paying for Mr. Grove? If you could hire,
I don't know.
may I finish, or do you butt into everybody's business and are you that rude normal? No, the lady can't, this lady, the court reporter, can't take 2 people when she's doing this. She types 350 words a minute. She can't do 2 people talking at the same time. And when that happens, the Court of Criminal Appeals gets upset.
Yes, sir. I apologize.
All right, it's follow the rules on that. I get to talk, you get to talk. When I'll let you, and then I'll talk. Okay, so, Mr. Grove is a competent lawyer, but you can hire your own lawyer at any time. In fact, you should, because Mr. Grove was appointed and there is a thing, an affidavit of indigence that you signed that says you can't hire, you don't have the ability to hire somebody. Why would you have signed that if it weren't true? Which constitutes perjury because this was under oath. Can you explain that?
Well, I mean, I can sell my truck to hire an attorney. That's what I'm gonna have to do, because I just think the extensive of the case, you know, I mean, I ain't even read the discovery on it, and they're trying to offer me 10 years for taking off an ankle monitor at my house. I mean, and it had nothing to do with drugs and alcohol.
Was the ankle monitor part of a bond condition?
No, it was parole. I discharged my parole in 8 months.
He's on parole right now, Judge, and that was.
Well, that ought to affect the parole, huh?
Well-
Adversely or not? I don't know, but that's their business. But this is a new
I
crime
mean,
and
was,
go ahead.
I mean, I could see taking, 18 months state jail or something like that, I mean, but 10 years for taking off an ankle monitor, Mr. Stevens?
I think it's Judge Stevens.
Judge Stevens.
The difference is your prior, punishment is based on the crime, the circumstances of the crime, and any criminal history. Your criminal history is pronounced.
Right, drinking and
Well,
driving.
Nonetheless, those are third-degree felonies, which meant you had 2 prior felonies of misdemeanors before.
And
But let me just say, you just shrugged that off. You really ought to, maybe I ought to bring you in here one day when we have these manslaughter cases where people who were driving while intoxicated uh, drive into the other lane of traffic and kill people. And you ought to just sit and listen to the weeping and the wailing of relatives of those people who want to know where in the world is justice when they're minding their own business, following the rules, and someone who selfishly, all about selfishly, over imbibed in alcohol or drugs, got behind a 4,000 missile and irresponsibly used it selfishly to kill others. It seems like the DWI defendants really never get injured too seriously for whatever reason, but they pay. And every involuntary manslaughter case I have tried in almost 20 years, the juries have assessed 20 years. Every one of them, which is the maximum. Every one of them did that. What does that tell you? You're living kind of on another planet. The conventional wisdom, what people who make the decisions in important matters like jurors, they do not tolerate DWIs. And to listen to the emotion of the people who just are misunderstand, you follow the rules, you go to church, and then and generally these are young people who get killed who are just driving home from some event and following their rules. And to listen to that, it haunts you forever. But when you come and stand behind in front of me and try to minimize 4 DWI, felony DWI convictions, minimize the importance of that and shrug it off as though it really is not a danger when you're acting foolish and irresponsible in those statements, because you don't know what real life is. To sit in here and listen to manslaughter cases, that's real life, and it haunts you forever. But you can have your little web of environment thinking, no big deal. I'm not bothering anybody. I ought to be able to act irresponsibly and get drunk and then jump into a 4,000-pound missile and drive around town. You're one of the few people on the planet who thinks that's wise. Just so you know, but don't be flippant about the seriousness of those cases. There's a reason why the legislature said you can get up to 10 years in prison for each of those.
I understand.
And you've had 4 convictions where you were looking at up to 10 years in prison. So don't minimize its seriousness. What do you want to do?
Can reset it.
Why don't you do this? Look, we're gonna reset it a couple of weeks, let him think about it, see if y'all want
Yes,
to,
sir.
maybe y'all can renegotiate
Yes, sir.
and see if there's something. But if you want a trial, that's your absolute right, and I'll defend you on that right. Don't worry, you'll get the right. But he's done this. Mr. Grove, I believe, has practiced law longer than I have. And he knows what juries in this county do. And you know, you grew up in Beaumont, didn't you?
Yes, sir.
Okay, well, when it comes to DWIs, it happens a lot, but jurors are pretty serious about it, especially in manslaughter cases. This is not one, but you're lucky. You're lucky. I can guarantee you, if you were with your criminal record, if you committed DWI and killed somebody in the wreck, there would be no mercy. And that's not from me, from juries. I'm just telling you, that's the way it is.
I can't.
I'm just scolding you on, don't shrug it off.
No, for Ron doesn't
Acting
let me
irresponsibly in a car,
decide.
it's a lethal weapon. And you've got 4 of them. And this goes back to 2012, 2015, 2019. My goodness, in 2019. It's Hardin County. Yeah, you had two cases in March in Hardin County that they packaged together. What did you get in that? What was your sentence?
7 years.
7 years? Okay. What did you get in the 2015
5
case out of this court? 5?
They gave me 5 years.
And then 2012, what did you get? Okay. Well, do you see what's happening?
I see it.
You know, it's stair
It's all
stepping.
catching up to me.
It's stair stepping each time.
It's all
Okay.
catching up to me.
All right. Which is is the way it's supposed to be. You're supposed to be punished more severely for subsequent criminal behavior because it's as though you're not making sure that your actions conform with the law. All right. I'm gonna give you a couple, 3 weeks. 3 weeks? Is that a good week?
Yes, sir.
Are we sure?
Yes.
Okay, 3 weeks and come back, y'all talk about it,
Yes, sir.
see if there's something, but they've offered 10.
Yes, sir. They've offered 10. This isn't a DWI judge.
I understand, but I understand
the court's point.
But
I'm
it's
just-
criminal history, that's
Yes.
everything.
Yes, but this, and I think that's one of the points that Mr. Davis has, is this was not a drinking type offense, but I understand the court.
Why?
We understand it.
Okay, I'm not, but the question that's rhetorical is, and I don't want you to answer it, but why would you commit a crime such as this? I don't want you to answer it. But why would you take off the monitoring device if it wasn't for some sort of a deceptive reason, you know? Now, don't answer it. But if you went to trial, you'd have to, the jury would want to know, why in the world would you do such a thing? And that may make a big difference, you know, in what direction everything heads in. So we're going to reset your case for 3 weeks, okay? Jerome Holmes. Thank you. Jerome Holmes.
Thank you.